I know there's a big question on everyone's mind. Can the Honda Trail 125 run while it's upside down? Absolutely yes. I crashed at about 50 miles an hour, hit the deer pretty much at a 90-degree angle. The deer actually was okay because it glanced off the motorcycle and did not absorb a huge amount of energy from the motorcycle, and it ran off after the accident. I did lose control of the motorcycle. It was a pretty good crash, I would say, and the bike really handled it well. Now, I do have some additional accessories on this motorcycle which has protected the motorcycle from major damage. Over here I've got an enhanced side guard, and you can see the wear marks here which protected the brake lever and the foot peg, as well as a guard over here for the exhaust. Does not look like it dragged, but it definitely helps support to protect the primary exhaust shielding. Now, this auxiliary exhaust shielding that I put on after the fact, it did get cracked. That's where this landed on my leg and pinned my leg after the accident. I was able to easily pull the bike off since it weighs so little. Had this been a heavier motorcycle, it might not have been the case. Going around to the front of the bike, that handguard did a great job. It definitely took some of the impact. You can see right here where it burned through on the road itself. Also here on the edge here, definitely protected my hand. It did take the brunt of the impact from that right hand side and protected the bike as well. So between the engine or the side guard and the hand guard here protecting my hands and the exhaust guard, I think this right hand side of the bike really fared pretty well. You can see that the turning signal is kind of bent. That's on a little flexible thing, so we probably can get that back together. And also this little light reflector got bent in a little bit. Light guard did a pretty decent job of generally protecting the light. It is offset, it is crushed back, so it took a lot of the brunt of the impact, which I kind of expected it to do. And really what I wanted it to do is to protect the light to the best extent it could. But it is bent in, and you can see it did make contact with the light down here, so there's a little bit of gap here. The gauge cluster, which I did spend quite a bit of money on, it was fully protected in that accident where it otherwise would have been fully exposed to the impact. So very pleased with this light guard that I have on the motorcycle. The left hand side of the motorcycle looks really good. I don't see any damage whatsoever. The bike did wobble quite significantly as I was crashing, as you can imagine, before it ultimately went over, and I don't think it actually made contact with anything on the left hand side of this motorcycle. So that kind of sums up the motorcycle, how it did, and very pleased with it overall. Tough little bike. I mean, 50 miles an hour is a significant crash. I came out pretty well considering I hit him at about 50 miles an hour. So just a quick rundown. You can see the gear definitely protected my shoulder there. Also here on my forearm, lots of road rash that otherwise would have gone straight down. Although it did rip up pretty good, it never got to the skin. Down here on my jeans, I hope you could see that. Here's my wallet. You can see I was not wearing the Kevlar backed riding pants that I usually do. Got lucky there, but you can see how easily this jean material rips up and frays. Other side of me is pretty good. I do have some a little bit of rib pain. You can see a little bit of skid mark there, and then these titanium knuckles, they definitely took some impact. You can see the wear down on those, so I'm glad I had these guys as well. I'll check out the helmet next. Here's the helmet. You can see the face guard, the visor got scratched up pretty good. A lot of impact over here on the right hand side. I know I hit pretty hard on my head, although the helmet itself looks pretty good. Pretty happy about that. I'll have to look at the foam padding. In general, when you have an accident or a crash where the helmet does make contact with the ground, you should replace it, and that's likely what I will be doing. Here's the shoulder area of this jacket. You can see that it actually did burn a hole all the way through the outer layer and into the inner layer, and it made it all the way through. If you look at my shoulder here, hope you can see that, it did actually tear my shirt, which means there's probably a little bit of skin damage. Here's my wallet. It took the brunt of a slide. A lot of road rash right here. Glad it was on my wallet, not my skin. So in summary, I had most of my gear on. I know all the gear all the time. Unfortunately, the jeans were not in a clean state. I only have one pair. And so I was wearing traditional jeans. I'll make a note of that and not repeat. Again, I got lucky as far as the legs are concerned. I don't feel a whole lot of road rash, although a little sore in some places. A knee padding would have been nice because I do feel a little bit on my right knee. But yeah, so if you have riding pants, I know that's the last thing we all put on. Definitely do that. The riding boots work really well. Good to survive a crash.